and he rises like a phoenix from the flames. This is part 2. Go on in. Roll titles.
So I wasn't going to do much today, and I wasn't going to get under the car, and I wasn't going to do anything. Last night I drank so much. Apparently I was fluent in Swahili, and I don't even know what it is. But, you know, they say the best way to get over a heavy drinking session is not to stop it. Cheers. So, what I thought I would do today, the old Hammerite Silver came for the calipers for the BMW, so I thought I'll give the old calipers a go. Now, I'm not pick them up gently because they're still wet, but yeah, not bad. Now, the underside I haven't done yet. I'm always truthful and honest. So yeah, so that's the top side. I'll give that another coat and let that dry. I won't lift up the calipers themselves because they're all right in. So here's one. So that's the top side. And then when that's all dry, I'll then do the underside. That's got the old Hammerite red on there. So get that all scratched up and then get another top coat on that. So that occupied me for a little bit. And then I thought, no, let's have another go at the ABS on the Peugeot. Oh, what a palaver. Now, as you may know, or you may not, I don't know, there are two different types of ABS sensor. There's what's called passive and there's what's called active. Now, passive relies on a magnet with a wire around it and a tooth goes past. I'll just throw up some pictures, I'll explain it with the fingers. Goes past and that induces a voltage, and that voltage goes back to the ECU. Now, the way the wheel speed, it senses how fast it's going. Obviously, the faster it's going, the more sine waves go, and they go, and it slows down, slows down, speeds up, and that's how the ECU works out what speed each wheel's doing. And if one's going faster than the other, it says slow down, son, and it slows the wheel down by putting a bit of ABS braking on it. The other type is what's called an active one. Now that actually supplies a voltage to the sensor, gets through the little circuit board inside, energizes the circuit, it then reads the magnetic ring and it produces an electrical field, what's called the Hall effect. The Hall effect. So what the Hall effect does, normally, got a little plate and you've got a supply voltage coming in and you've got another lead coming out, and across there potentially is a voltage drop. Now, if you've got a flat piece of metal and there's no resistance, obviously it'll be the same, so no potential. So what the Hall effect does, all the atoms, electrons, move as the electromagnet comes round, moves out to the edge. And as that moves out to the edge, you've got positive ions that side, positive electrons, positive ions that side, and electrons that side of the plate. Now, you've now got positive and you've got a negative. So across those two, you now have a potential difference, and it does that. And the circuit forms that into a square wave. Now, a square wave then goes back to the ECU. Now, exactly the same as a sine. Am I boring you? Exactly the same as a sine wave, but in a square wave. So square waves do this, they do that, they do this, and they do that, and they get more and more depending on how fast you're doing. So, I did some research, and according to my car variant, my car spec, it should have active sensors. Now, this is the reason why I measured in here that is 11.5 megohms. Now, if it was passive, it'd be about 2 kilo ohms, that sort of thing. But this is active. So in there's a circuit board. Can't see it. And so that is got high resistance because you've got a voltage driving that circuit in there, which then feeds back a square wave. So this is an active ABS sensor. My car is supposed to have active ABS sensors. So if you disconnect the plug, which I'll show the pictures here, on the yellow bit, that should have 12 volts coming out of one of those pins. I'm getting the square root of nothing. Isn't that one? So I'm getting absolutely nothing out of those sensors. So I measured the resistance of the sensor on the car, and that was 11.5 mega ohms one side, 11.2 mega ohms the other side. So that implies to me that the sensors are okay because they're both reading the same resistance. Now, I start measuring the voltage in the harness. So driver's side, I'm getting nothing. Millivolts, 200 millivolts, 100 millivolts, that sort of thing. Passenger side, I've got a decent enough ground. I was holding these bits of leads, as you see in this picture, and I've got about 8 volts. And then it went down to 6, then 2. Then it went into the millivolts reading. So I thought, what is going on? So at no point was I getting 12 volts at any one of those connectors. So that's probably why the ABS light is on, because it cannot drive the sensors. And if you disconnect the sensors, that's when you get the old stop thing, because there's high resistance now in the circuit, because I've disconnected it. So connected it all up. No. So I've got a new theory. I've got a theory now. It could be the ABS ECU itself. Somehow it's got messed up and it can't produce the voltage now for these things to read. So I've got to look around now I'm going to test the fronts first, then I'll look around for a replacement ABS module, only about 30 nicker I think on the Bay of E. So that's the only way I can think now of ruling this out, is making sure the sensors work, making sure there's the same resistance in all the 4 sensors, and then looking up to see how much a second-hand ABS module is. So that's my next port of call. So that's about it really. So I've got to get that on the car. That's a new auxiliary belt on the Peugeot, and I've got to sort out, I've got a few months yet to sort the ABS out because the MOT isn't until June. So I've got plenty of time to try and get that sorted out, because as you know, any amber light, apart from the indicators, on a dashboard, instant fail MOT. Engine management light, ABS light, traction control light, any of that lot, instant fail. They won't even go past the dashboard. So I've got to get that sorted. So yeah, so that's about it. What can I do now? I've got an idea.